Welcome back to the Deep Dive, everyone. Today, we're tackling a really interesting question. This one's from The Economist. Is the menopause real? You know, we all sort of know about female menopause. It's this, well, pretty dramatic biological shift, right? Things like hot flashes, maybe trouble sleeping, changes in libido. It's a clear turning point. But the question is there really a male version, menopause that men go through in a similar way?
That's a fascinating question to start with. And yeah, you hear different terms thrown around, don't you? Like menopause, sometimes andropause. I've even seen Adam.
Exactly.
Are they all basically pointing at the same thing, or are there subtle differences we should be aware of?
That's a great clarification point. And yes, pretty much. Those terms, menopause, andropause, and Adam, which stands for androgen deficiency in the aging male, they're generally used interchangeably. They all describe this idea of a male version of menopause. And the symptoms people link to it are often things like maybe a lower sex drive, feeling tired all the time, maybe losing muscle, gaining some fat, that kind of picture.
Okay, so a collection of symptoms often associated with aging, maybe?
Right. But and this is crucial when you really look at the science, the difference between this and female menopause is, well, it's huge. For women, menopause is biologically very specific. It marks the end of their periods and fundamentally the end of their ability to reproduce. This usually happens, around the early 50s. And it's triggered by a really sharp, quite sudden drop in hormones, particularly estrogen and progesterone. It's a definite universal biological event for women.
Sharp and sudden, okay. That sounds like a very clear biological marker. So is there anything comparable for men? Anything that distinct?
No, not really. Not the same way at all. Men biologically can often remain fertile much, much longer. I mean, you see examples like Al Pacino becoming a father again at 83, right?
Yeah.
That tells you something.
Well, yeah, okay. 83, that's definitely different.
It is. Now, testosterone levels do tend to decline in men as they age. That's true. But it's typically very gradual. We're talking maybe around 1% per year after a certain age. For many men, maybe even most, their levels actually stay within what doctors consider the normal range for their whole lives. There just isn't that sudden cliff edge drop you see with women's hormones.
So it's gradual versus sudden, and fertility continues versus stops. Yeah, that's a fundamental difference, isn't it? Really changes the comparison.
It absolutely does. And it makes you wonder, well, what are those symptoms people talk about then? The tiredness, the muscle loss. Often those things that get labeled menopause might just be, well, the realities of middle age for a lot of people.
Like what sort of things?
Well, think about it. Feeling tired? Could that be juggling a demanding job, family life, maybe not sleeping enough, burning the candle at both ends,
Yeah, that sounds familiar.
And the flabbiness or muscle loss. For many of us working desk jobs, maybe not getting enough exercise, it adds up over the years, doesn't it? Sedentary lifestyle takes its toll.
Right. It's easy to see how just, life could cause those symptoms without needing a specific pause label.
Exactly. Now, that's not to say there aren't real hormonal issues some men face. There is a genuine medical condition called male hypogonadism.
Hypogonadism. Okay, what does that mean exactly?
It basically means the testes aren't producing enough testosterone. But here's the key point. Unlike female menopause, this is not an inevitable part of aging for all men. It's a specific medical condition. Some men get it, many don't. And even figuring out how many get it is tricky. You see wildly different numbers in studies.
Oh, like how different?
Well, I saw one suggesting maybe 20% of men in their 60s have it. But then another big European study found it in only about 3.2% of men that age.
Wow, 20% versus 3%? That's a huge range. Tells you it's maybe not consistently defined or diagnosed, perhaps?
Precisely. It shows we're a long way from having a clear picture, like we do with female menopause. But for men who are diagnosed, or even just feel they have low T, testosterone replacement therapy, TRT, has become really popular.
Ah, yes, TRT. You hear about that a lot.
You do. And people often take it hoping to, gain muscle, lose fat, maybe recover faster from workouts. And it can do those things. That's why it's banned in professional sports. It's performance enhancing.
Okay, so it sounds tempting, like a quick fix for feeling younger or stronger. But are there downsides? Is it all good?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Yeah.
And this is where it gets, incredibly ironic. While TRT might give you some of those desired effects, some common side effects include things like hair loss and, crucially, infertility.
Wait, what? Infertility?
Yes. It's kind of counterintuitive, but when you add testosterone from an external source like TRT, your body can react by shutting down its own natural production in the testes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And that process, the natural production, is what drives sperm creation. So less natural testosterone can mean slowed or even stopped sperm production, infertility.
So, hang on. Men might take TRT to combat symptoms they think are menopause, but the treatment itself can actually lead to infertility, which is the defining biological outcome of actual female menopause.
You got it. That's the core irony right there. It's quite something when you think about it.
That really is a
Moment.
Wow.
So, wrapping this up, what's the takeaway for you, our listeners? Well, this idea of menopause as a universal, sudden event, like female menopause, it doesn't really hold up to the science. Men's hormones decline gradually, fertility often continues, and many symptoms might be lifestyle-related.
Or, in some cases, due to the actual medical condition, hypogonadism.
Exactly, which is distinct from just aging. And then there's the profound irony of TRT chasing youth, perhaps, but risking infertility, the very thing that defines the female menopause it's often compared to. It really highlights how important it is to distinguish between, normal biological aging, lifestyle factors, and actual medical conditions requiring treatment. So the final thought for you to ponder, what really stands out to you from this deep dive into menopause and the surprising effects of TRT?